Hello, and welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from each and every day right here in the Impact Power Sports studio, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. 'Tis the season. It's always the season, especially with the way they make these fun things like side-by-sides, ATVs, UTVs, take off through the snow, maybe on a brand new snowmobile from my friends at Impact Power Sports. Online at impactpowersportsmi.com. They are in Rockford, Michigan. Go see them. All right. Off and running on this edition of the show. I want to update Great Food Giveaway number 5. I like to do this each and every day for just a short amount of time. And by the way, I am going to have to bail again midway through the show for the workplace staff meeting, which yesterday I thought it was. And then as soon as I ended this show 1 hour in to go to the staff meeting via Zoom, I realized that it had been scheduled for today. So that's just stupid. Anyway, I'll do the staff meeting with my folks, my friends at the radio station. And then after that is done, I'll get back in here, finish up the back half of this show, and away we go. We got 2 fantastic donations since the last time that we spoke. Amanda reached out. Yes, the Amanda reached out. Thank you for the very kind donation. There is no thing as a bad donation. Some of you give more, some of you give less. That is so sweet of you. And the ones that give just a handful of dollars, those are the ones that I love the most because I know that those folks are struggling. And the fact that they can go ahead and carve out the handful of dollars and send it this way to help those who are very, very hungry and in desperate need this holiday season. That says a lot about you, and I'm very, very appreciative of you. So thank you so much, Amanda, Josh B., and Donovan, the latest to drop some money into our hat for the Great Food Giveaway number 5. We now stand at $1,980. We are 17 days until the big day. If you'd like to participate and help me out, help those out, I should say, not help me out, help them out, on Venmo at Eric-Zaitunian, Zeitunian. PayPal at Eric Zane Show. There's also an Amazon wish list that I've talked about many times. I don't have it right in front of me. I wish I did, but I'm dumb. I will post it in the show notes, and you can have at it that way. We are doing it at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. They host. They're awesome. And they make this a pain-free event in terms of organization. We've grown a lot in now the 5 years that we've been doing this. Let's see. We gave away 100 meals the first 2 years. And then the third year, we gave away 200. That was too many. So last year, we backed it down to 100. And then we raised it this year to 150. So that means after this year, we will have given away 650 meals. The Grand Rapids Pit Bull Alliance will be there, dishing out the pet food. And then we'll be there. And then after they get the food from us, which is a ham, potatoes, gravy, cans of corn, rolls, and a Christmas pie, pumpkin pie, away we go. Did I include pumpkin pie when I wrote this out to my guy at Meijer? I think I did. I need to write that down to make sure. All right. And that all happens December 20th. If you'd like to be there to volunteer, just to hang out, we're going to have a ton of people there. boxing the food, passing it out, standing around, flirty, wavy, give away the food, give away the women's feminine hygiene products, because we're going to have a ton of those to give away. And then off we go to the Beltline Bar, and we hang out and have a meal. All good. Friday, December 20, as we get set to ring in the holiday year. We have a Big Fraud Wednesday happening this week. Hold up. Bruce, quit. Hey, no. Quit. Licking his paws. Can't have that. So Wednesday, we'll be doing Who Are These Free Beers? Show number 36, episode number 36. Okay. We got our hands on a bit of material they had a show that was in front of an audience at the intersection the day before Thanksgiving. And there's so much to unpack on this show. But two things that stood out were there were at least two creepy examples of free beer saying shit to little girl Maitland that were just fucking gross. And I can't believe that he's that bold to say the shit that he says to her. It's really, really odd, really creepy, and fucked up. Also, they played a fucking game, and when they started it, Greg said, all right, who here loves this game? And literally one person goes, woo! And what it is he names a song, and then one of the 8 million members on that show have to gobble like a goddamn turkey the song. And then you have to guess. So fucking miserable. Oh, shit. So I'm excited about reviewing that with you and Ben Glaze. In fact, I said to Ben, he goes, and he calls it Goboloki. That's actually hilarious that they call it Goboloki. That's funny. The bit itself is not. It's really painful to listen to. It's just so fucking stupid. Fuck, does that piss me off. God damn, it's so annoying. So Ben reaches out to me and goes, hey, are you reviewing Goboloki? I said, well, I heard it twice. And I was able to pull clips kind of like that surround the segment, but not from the actual segment, because this is just so fucking stupid. And it's just people making weirdo noises. Really rough. And also in their very first segment, I'm producing a compilation of just nonstop laughter because they were so fucking silly and laughing at their own shit that it was painful. In fact, Chris sent me an email about this exact thing. I thought it myself when I was listening to it. And then he kind of confirmed it. EZ, hope you and the family had a very happy Thanksgiving. A little overtime today, and I'm listening to the Fuckface and Hot Wings show from the day before Thanksgiving. Here are some things I heard that may interest you if you didn't get to listen yourself. By the way, if you didn't hear the opening to this live show, he's referring to that moment, it was such garbage that I was barely able to keep listening through the next segments. It is a sinking ship of hot, audible, steamy shit. Time stamp, hour, 9 minutes, 45 seconds. Kelly throws some jabs at former ex-Ross. Freeber comments about being threatened of being kicked out of his home. I did reach out to Ross about that and sent him the clip. I actually wrote, hey, looks like you took some strays and Freeber fired a couple at you. And he wrote, of course. Ross cannot stand Freebeer, by the way. Even dating way, way back before everybody was even thinking of divorce or anything like that between Kelly and Ross. Ross learned quickly how much he despises Greg. And he never wanted his name or anything about him to be discussed on that show. And Greg continuously at the time would cross that line. And I've heard some fucking eyebrow-raising moments from Ross about the relationship between Kelly and Freebeer that make you go, what? What the fuck is happening there? This is the moment that we need to park on, one of many that, or at least two, that are creepy as shit. At an hour, 14 minutes, 30 seconds in that show, Freebeer asked Maitland how long she has to be with a man before she sticks her finger up his ass. Chris writes, not a joke. And then he writes, he is a major pervert on that girl. She makes a remark, more than 9 years, in reference to her ex-boyfriend, Jordan. Now, he euphemized it, but it's still very... He was doing one of those, I'm going to ask you a question, you got to answer it. And he looks at her and says, how long has it got to be before you jam your finger up a guy's ass? We also have a Freebeer belly laugh because Maitland used the term lady bits. Have to pull that. Freebeer belly laughs after Maitland asks him to stop staring at her. Chris continues, the way Greg talks and acts to her now has changed since the breakup from her boyfriend. It is bad, but great for your show. Hope this helps, and I will stay in touch. Take care, Chris. No, you absolutely are doing the right thing. I appreciate you. And Jesus Christ. The fucking idiot can't get out of his own way. The nose is going to get jealous. This is going to get rough on our pal Freebeer. Mark my words. Fucking A. Rich says that Freebeer now calls her mate on the air regularly. Can you imagine if I'm on the radio and I've got a low-level employee and I said, hey, how long do you stick your finger up your boyfriend's ass? That alone, that comment, though on the air, is 100% open for a sexual harassment lawsuit. It's even worse that he's on the air when she asks that question, or when he asks her that question. She could, if she became disgruntled, say, yeah, I was sexually harassed on the radio, and it was so embarrassing. A 50-something-year-old man asked me, how long till I stick my fucking finger up a man's ass? God. Jeremy says, did they even end up selling out the intersection? No, they were way off by like 100 tickets. Jeremy says, I remember when that place sold out in minutes, but they were trying to get people to buy tickets on Monday this year. No, they didn't sell it out. I wouldn't ask anybody when they stick a finger up someone's ass. Of all the things to ask. I wouldn't even admit to myself that I want somebody's finger up my asshole. God damn. Fucking lighten up. All right. So that is part of our Big Fraud Wednesday coming up right here. There is a new documentary out about yacht rock. I'm not exactly sure of the term, but I think they call it yacht rock. This is my theory. Because old people with money like this type of music. Now, I look not that well, but I did look. The guy who made the documentary, Yacht Rock, reached out to Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. And I heard the clip, and I tried to find it, and I couldn't fucking find the thing. But this guy that I'm about to play you a clip of actually got a hold of Donald Fagen. The director's name is Garrett Price. And he said, hey, Mr. Fagen, how are you? This is Garrett Price. Oh, hey, yeah. I guess Fagen was expecting the phone call, a couple phone tag, one of those deals. And Price said, so anyway, I'm making a documentary, and I want you and your music to be in it. And Fagen goes, oh, all right, okay. He goes, yeah, it's about yacht rock. And he goes, yacht rock. What genre is yacht rock? And Garrett Price says, well, it's yours. It's Steely Dan. Your music is in the genre. And for some reason, Fagen didn't like that. And he goes, yeah, well, you know what? Go fuck yourself. And then hung up on this guy. So, holy shit. That is there anything better than telling someone to go fuck yourself? God damn it. Anyway, this is the guy, Garrett Price. He was speaking about the documentary.
A persona they have to keep up, but I called Donald, we talked, he gave me his feelings, but he also licensed his music for this. So I think it was a wink. He gets it. He doesn't love the term to define his music, but he has this character he has to keep up, I think. And, in the end, I think he understands. Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would hate the term yacht rock. So he's pissed off that they're going to feature his music. He won't do an interview about the music for yacht rock. Yacht rock defined. All right, it says the style of music associated with soft rock of the 70s and 80s. Yeah, but why? Why is it called yacht rock? Coined in 2005 by the creators of the online comedy series Yacht Rock, the series was set in Southern California where boating was a popular leisure activity. The term was meant to evoke the idea of relaxing on a yacht while listening to the music. Okay, I might have read into that a little bit too much, that only people who own yachts like this type of rock. No, it's not that at all. According to this, the term was meant to evoke the idea of relaxing on a yacht while listening to the music. Characteristics of yacht rock: high-quality production, clean vocals, light, catchy melodies, elements of jazz, R&B, and disco, more musical than lyrical, more electric piano than acoustic guitar. Yacht rock artists: Doobie Brothers, Eagles, Christopher Cross, Robbie Dupree, Daryl Hall, John Oates, Fleetwood Mac, Michael McDonald, Rupert Holmes, Toto, Steely Dan. All right. Bob says, because yacht rock sounds better than pussy rock. I think there's a documentary for this damn thing, and I want to watch it. I don't know why, but I do. Looks like Christopher Cross on the right and Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers on the left.
You don't know me, but I'm your brother. It rocks, but it doesn't rock too hard. The singers all seem to be saying, hey, it's gonna be okay.
It's perfect sitting down dancing music.
Also known as yacht rock.
Bill Simmons made this.
LA in the 1970s.
It was an amazing time. There's these really talented session guys who can play anything.
Steely Dan.
The Doobie Brothers.
Toto,
Kenny Loggins,
Christopher Cross, Michael fucking McDonald.
You have these sensational white musicians who had been acculturated on black music styles.
You write what you hear, what you feel.
A lot of the black stations picked up my first album. They made it a hit. It caused a buzz that we weren't used to getting.
Just seemed to really connect with the audience.
These artists provided the soundtrack of our lives, and then suddenly all that changed.
The video killed the radio star thing. It was just absolutely true in my case.
Top 40 careers have a natural end. They always do and always will.
I expected to be totally forgotten by the end of the 80s.
That's what a fool believes, Kenny. That's what a fool believes.
The term yacht rock emerged from a comedy show.
All of a sudden, this new genre we made up started to get embraced by the world.
Yacht rock. Where's my fucking yacht? I played on all those records.
I always thought it was kind of flattering
The band that they're showing on stage was called Yachtly Crew. Some cover band called Yachtly Crew playing all these songs.
to be made fun of.
I began to see that it was a kind of ass-backwards way to honor
I
us.
think that's Kenny Loggins.
Obviously, it made an impression on somebody.
All right, that's fun. I like that. Will I watch it? Of course not. Matt Wright says, I bet Freebird listens to Yacht Rock and dreams of mate's finger in his ass. You see, what the fuck? You see where this is taking us now? Linda says, oh, you'll watch this documentary, but not the dozens of great ones I've recommended. You're right. They are all great. But no, why do I never watch these things? Because I'm too busy. It's stupid. I know. It's just so dumb. Jeremy says, if you listen to Foreigner and say this is too heavy for me, then Yacht Rock is right in your wheelhouse. All right. Stevie says this is awful. Are you suggesting that Yacht Rock is awful or this show? What specifically? Because I'm just catching up. I'd like to know, too. It couldn't possibly be Yacht Rock being awful because Yacht Rock is anything but awful. Come on now. All right. PA Prank's names have made Peloton instructors. This takes me back to doing the actual bit. PA Pranks, a very time-consuming endeavor that I used to do on the radio, trying to get people, unsuspecting people in various department stores to shout out on the public address systems in the store a fake name that makes them say something awful, like Ben Dover, or last name Vainel, first name Isla. She actually said, attention customers, Isla Vainel, if you're in the store, please come to the, and there I am listening in the store. So, I actually made the phone call to the store while I'm in the store, position myself underneath the loudspeaker, hang up. She pages the name, and there I am recording it. We get a big laugh like we're juvenile idiots and had so much fun. We did that for years and years and years. That same idea has been making its way onto videos of Peloton instructors, and I am here for it. Thank you to Chris D. for sending this along.
Loose cunt.
Jesus Christ. Last name Skunt. First name Lou. So he's pedaling away, and it shows up in front of him. Lou Skunt.
Lou Skunt.
Okay, so he realized it. You can see the look on his face there. After he says loose cunt.
Loose cunt.
Hugh Janus.
Okay, hot chick, Hugh Janus.
I'm on to you.
Okay, this guy he's the instructor. He's only got one arm, this guy.
Buster Cherry, happy birthday. Great to see you here.
Dixie Normus.
I will say the name.
Dixie Normus.
Craven Moorhead.
Sophanda Cox, I see.
Sophanda Cox. She fucked it up. It's Sophanda Cox.
Shout to Mike Hunt, happy birthday.
Drew Peacock.
Eating beaver.
Eileen Ulick, I see you.
Eileen Ulick.
Jack Mayhofer, happy
Scoops, Drew P. Balls.
Drew P. Balls, yes. By Drew P. Balls by Mike Hawkener.
Mike Hawkener, happy birthday.
Bill McCrevis, 20s.
Oliver Closehoff.
Bill McCracken, happy Dixie Wreck. And Hugh Janus tapping at my leaderboard.
Colonel Angus. Sleepy Joe. Yo, I didn't mean to say that.
Genitalia, happy 1000. You totally got me with that name.
Sophanda Cox, happy birthday to you.
I love these. I never forget at when I got last name Vugger, first name Bud. If there's a Bud Vugger in the store, oh, God. And then the feeling of elation that I would get when I would be successful getting one. I'd be like, oh, my God, my workday is done. Thank God. Jameis Winston was on the field yesterday, Monday Night Football. Cleveland got their ass kicked.
Funny thing about this opportunity.
He's known for just ridiculous quotes, ridiculous team prayers.
Funny thing about this opportunity is we all know that dun, 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 dun. That's what we do it for.
This dude, number 55, is not liking this.
As we all know that dun, 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 dun. That's what we do it for. All right? We worked all our life for this moment. It's just us today. And out there on that field, it's only going to be us. So let's fight together. Let's have each other back. Energy, execution, precision, and domination. All right, together. Here we go. Family on three, family on three. 1, 2, 3, family.
I think he threw like at least one pick six. He was hot garbage in that game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of Wombat Pat. And he wants me dead. I am not kidding you. I spoke of this yesterday at some point. I forget what point in the day I did speak of it, but I did. Okay. So one of the things about Wombat Pat that makes him interesting is that he's an able-bodied blind person. Like, you can see him walking. I've seen this guy walking around Grand Rapids. He's very visible, and he's gigantic. He's a large dude with a full, gigantic beard and a bald head and a cane. And he is constantly out roaming around like he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't let anything slow him down. Now, he is part of this huge brainwashed audience of my pals, Free Beer and Hot Wings. He's also part of the group that says that the only thing I ever talk about on my podcast is that show. Now, look, I put in the time every week. I put in, oh, God, let's see, on this free podcast alone, you're looking at 10 hours, not to mention another 200 minutes on the Patreon. So you're looking at north of 13 to 14 hours in just those two podcasts alone, not to mention the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, not to mention when we actually, well, I guess Who Are These Free Beers is definitely about free beer. There's no question. But with all of that time in, if at any one point I talk about free beer and hot wings, that's only a small fraction of the time that I'm actually podcasting. I only talk about that show when there's something actually interesting that I can park on. And this dude is one of these folks who insists that all I talk about is their show. And it's like, well, that couldn't be further from the truth. You know, that's totally silly. I spend a fair amount of my time talking about many, many other things. And on a perfect day, I'm not talking about them, but sometimes I have to. When Greg is asking Maitland about how long till she sticks a finger up a guy's ass, I mean, that's interesting. I want to pick that apart and park on that. But this dude is a part of this bunch that just are not at all impressed with anything that I do, and very, very critical, and suggests that the only thing I'm capable of doing is talking about them on a regular basis. And it's like, well, okay, sorry you feel that way. It's completely inaccurate. And so whatever. If they have that opinion of me, that's fine. These aren't bad people. At least I didn't think so. And I am even on that Segment 18 Facebook group, because there's a lot of people on there who really aren't that hateful towards me and understand what I'm attempting to do. And they like both shows. That's fine. I don't care. Good. I'm glad you do. I would love them to stop listening to them altogether and listen to just this show or anything but. But the day that happens too much, that's the day that our pals at Free Beer and Hot Wings have to look for another job. Radio has gotten to a critical point. Stephen King, the famous writer, has several radio stations in Maine. And he just announced that on the first of the year, they all go dark. He's not even selling the signals. He's shutting off the lights, turning off the transmitter, because he said, quote, I've lost millions and millions of dollars with the way the industry is now. And he is part of a dying breed, independent radio station owners that are struggling. And, well, they're all struggling. And it's turned into, last one here, turn out the lights. So that's why we need Free Beer and Hot Wings to keep going. We cannot have them struggle so much with the falling ratings that the local station cannot afford them anymore. The day that happens, a good part of us dies here on this show. We would hate that to happen. Well, this guy, as I indicated, is not at all pleased with me. And I talked about this yesterday, but I wanted to actually get the actual saying. The initial thing that our pal, the Wombat, here revealed was, reveal yourself, anonymous participant. And I don't know what the fuck this means. And if there's anybody that talks shit on this page, everybody just assumes it's me. And there's nothing I can do. But occasionally I'll jump in there and say, hey, that wasn't me. And I didn't even know this was going on. Linda was the one who tipped me off about this. Bobby here says it's probably that Zane guy because he's still so obsessed with everything Free Beer and Hot Wings. And then Pat Wombat says, I often wonder what he would do if he didn't spend all his time hating the show. I don't hate the show. I love the show. Do you have any idea at how much money I have made because I love the show so much? There's no way I would hate that. My Patreon is at an all-time, well, I shouldn't say that's not at an all-time high, but it continues to grow because of Who Are These Free Beers? Bobby says, for sure, it seems as if he has dedicated his life to it since being removed. Well, it's kind of an overstatement, but whatever. And that's where I jumped in. So my pal Linda, look at, I'm a top contributor. So my pal Linda tipped me off about this. It's not me. I like this group. That's all I wrote. And then I left it there. And that was a week ago. Well, our pal Wombat Pat, this guy here, he doesn't like that. He writes, of course you like this group. You harvest content out of it because you can't do anything original. Well, no, that's not true at all. I mean, who gives a shit? It's your conversation I'm reading. It's still original. I still have an opinion about it. He says, I bet you can't go 6 months without bringing up Free Beer and Hot Wings on your podcast because you have nothing else to talk about. Here's the line. I hope that throat cancer and a laryngectomy, is that what it's called, a laryngectomy, or is it a laryngectomy? Well, you know what he means. I hope that throat cancer and a laryngectomy is in your near future. I think that should be in your near future, but maybe I'm wrong. So he's wishing, that's tough. If you're wishing cancer on someone, you mean business. You really got to be pissed off if you're wishing cancer on somebody. Chris wrote, wow, our very own Chris is in this. He says, wow, what a hateful piece of shit you are. And he responded to Chris, correct, please don't forget. So he's owning that. Chris said, I already forgot. What were you talking about? I wrote, yikes, relax, big fella. No hard feelings here. Why so upset? No response. I responded to that, Bobby, and I said, it's not me. I can't be blamed for everything. So awesome. My God. This is called being in someone's kitchen. Whenever somebody says, yeah, you're in your head, they're in your head rent-free. I'm in his head rent-free. Starman says, I wish his eyesight would return so he can see the error of his ways. I'm interested in this dude. I actually need to talk to him. I'm trying to hunt him down. I even went to the Association for the Blind to see if I can get any, maybe he liked a comment with his real name. I'm trying to track this fucker down because I could eventually get him for some type of interview. Maybe like blindside him, no offense, no pun intended, on the street. Hey, are you Wombat Pat? Well, yes, I am. Well, hey, this is Eric Zane, and I want, actually talk to the guy. If you happen to see a guy on the street who looks like this, bald, giant beard, he's bigger than 6'5". He's huge. I don't know if he's that big. And he's got a goddamn cane or a dog. You gotta say something or get a picture of this fucker in the wild. Wow. Kenny says, I don't know what this is about as I just joined, but it sounds to me like someone went all Kenny the Punisher here. Matt says 6 months. Those assholes can't go 6 minutes with putting out shit content for us to tear apart. All right. So that is my pal, Wombat Pat. He is he's a guy who loves hard and hates hard. I just don't understand why he would have such an angry bone in his body for me. All I've done is take some amazing moments on the radio, similar to Greg asking Maitland, how long before you stick your finger up a guy's asshole, and parked on it on this show to break it down and discuss. I can guarantee you our pals Free Beer and Hot Wings listen to my content. And they probably love it under the impression that it might help them in terms of listenership. Because frankly, it's down to about half of what it was. On December 11th, the latest ratings will drop. They are currently at an 11.9 share, 25 to 54 persons. Mojo in the Morning is at an 11.1. This is the first time in like 20 years that they've been threatened to lose persons 25-54. They're down 3 consecutive months. Year over year, from 1 year ago, this same time period, they're down half the shares of what they had. So they're hemorrhaging audience, and if it continues to trend downward, they will lose their grip on persons 25 to 54 for the first time in nearly 20 years. What does that tell you? People are fucking fed up. All right. That is all I have to say about that. All right, I have the staff meeting that I'm going to get to in just a minute. But before I do that, just a reminder, A&E Heating and Cooling. Yes, he drives you crazy in the chat of this podcast. But he is also one of the key people that helps this show growing. Helps this show to grow, I should say, if I'm using the English language. 616-516-8579. You have a team at A&E Heating and Cooling that can help you keep the heat pumping. If you are in need of a new furnace, Joe will help you. 616-516-8579. A&E Heating and Cooling in West Michigan. Commercial and residential, they can take care of anything you want. If you need an after-hours service call, they'll help you get that house warm again. If you just need preventative maintenance done, don't hesitate to call 616-516-8579. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. I'll be back with the second half of this show after the staff meeting. Thank you so much.